everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Abhinav. In this video, we are going to see about how video works. So without wasting any time, let's get started. If at least 24 photos play in 1 second, we'll see it as videos. If you want a real life motion blur, you can use 24 frames per second. If you want a much more smoother look, you can use 60 frames, 120 frames, 240 frames, etc. If you want to see a real life motion blur, you can use 24 frames. And if you want to see, if you are a gamer, if you are shooting sports, you can use higher frame rates. But generally, higher frame rates are used for slow motion. When you convert a higher frame rate video into a lower frame rate, it will be displayed as a slow motion. I'll explain. If you imagine you are having a 60 frames per second, if you convert that into 30 frames per second, that 60 will divide the first 60 for the first 30 frames of the second will be break, and the second half will be go into another second, so that there are 2 seconds. It will, in our eyes, it will be like slow motion. By using 30 frames per second, if you can 20% slow it down, and in 60 frames per second you can 50% you can slow it down, and in 120 frames per second 80% you can slow it down. But make sure if you're shooting in a higher frame rate, you should convert it into 24 frames per second, which will give a real life motion blur. Now let's see shutter speed for your videos. If you're filming, you should keep your shutter twice your frame rate, and which means that if you are filming in 24 frames per second, double of 24 is 48. You should be filming in 1/48 of the second. Camera doesn't allow us to shoot in 48 frame 1/48th of the second, so that you can shoot in 1/50th of the second. For example, this video is shot at 24 frames per second and the shutter speed is 1/50th of the second. This motion blur feels like you are in the action, feels more natural. If you are shooting in 30 frames per second, double your shutter speed, you get 1/60, 60 frames 1/25, 1/125. If you are shooting in 120 frames per second, 1/250 of the second. If you want to know about shutter speed, I have already made a video about this. The link will be popping right here. Imagine an incident. You are shooting in a higher, faster aperture like 1.4, 1.8, 2.8, and you are shooting in 24 frames per second, so that you should keep your shutter speed in 1/50th of a second. The image will be overexposed. Although you have kept in base ISO, if you crank your shutter speed too higher, like 1/200, the image will ruin your look. If you low down the aperture, the background blur will not be there. In that case, you should use ND filters. I have already made a video about ND filters also. If you want to see that video, click right here. But ND filters cut down light in stocks. Based on the light you have available, you can use ND filters of the respective stocks. And this video might be useful for you. Remember this principle when you're shooting this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Before that, you should like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon. Thank you for watching.